He was on like half
For which
HP the
team?
whole game for tempo.
Yeah. Guess that's true. Necro's alright. It's also a good lane matchup against TB, for the most part. Can be a little dodgy when Terrorblade has meta up, but when he doesn't, you destroy him.
I mean, even with meta up, you have Ghost Shroud, you won't take damage for a little bit, and by then you have a... I mean, that's also technically a Radiance carrier, which is good against Illusion heroes. I did like the Timbersaw for Omegalil, which I mentioned, just because Poison Sting no longer reduces HP regen, and it's obviously here with a lot of mobility, but was banned out, obviously. And 2 Spirit Brothers are gone. That means only 2 remain. Goodness. So it's probably a little too late for... I guess technically you could run Earth Spirit on tempo. And that's not too bad, right? Is that too much in terms of the melee for supports if you have a tree and Earth Spirit? It's probably too much, right?
Yeah, I don't like that combo that much. I don't really know how much value you would get out of Earth Spirit in this game in general. I don't think he's particularly good against Terrorblade in the laning stage. Like, you have to come up close to deal damage. Terrorblade Venge can turn around on you and hit really hard. When you commit in, you usually roll, and then if they Venge stun and meta pop and just turn on you, it hurts a lot. Not too sure about that one.
We're gonna see.
I think you get a ranged support. You get a ranged support that works well with Treant.
So Lina picked third. For the most part, we've been seeing her as a mid hero. This feels like it's way too early to pick her up as a mid hero, but you do have the flex option, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's a flex.
And obviously, as a support with Venge is quite strong. I mean, even Venge is a flex pick, right? This, in theory, could be... And we've seen her literally every position, so...
Lich.
All right. Lich is back in the house. No Grimstroke, but he's available to pick in theory. But
we once again need to think about what carries are good against Terrorblade. Because we're there again now. You need to pick something that solves Terrorblade. Void is a lot worse this game than in the first game for tempo, because this time there's a swap. So there's a type of save against the Chronosphere for Terrorblade. And you have Treant, who does it's a bit better than it used to be, because you at least have the Bramble. Why can't I even remember what it's called, that spell? What's
for who?
Transfer spell. Why is that
Leech
completely
Seed
eluding me? Nature's Grasp.
Oh,
Jesus.
Grasp. Yeah.
You have Grasp that goes into the Chrono at least, but it's not a high damage hero. But at least Lich and Veno could get something done. I'm just worried about this Venge swap. Now they get the Beastmasters. Now they have double auras for Terrorblade. This looks like a really solid draft from Omegalil. They're gonna go for the PL route, so another illusion-based hero against Terrorblade. Slightly concerned about the pace that the Radiant can play in this game, though. With Venge, Beast, Auras, and with another pick that could be a tower pusher, PL needs space, and he needs more time than Terrorblade does before he starts truly having a big fighting impact. So Omegalil on Radiant side could look for Roshan, they could look for the tier 1 towers, and then just try to close down the map before this PL gets online.
Well, the third Spirit Brother taken out. And like you said, Earth Spirit not looking likely for either team at this point. I mean, who's Weehaw, the old Earth Spirit mid player. Oh man, that used to be so sick, but then they changed him a lot to where it wasn't quite as good, unfortunately. Kunkka taken out as well. So we're looking, I mean, Kunkka obviously really good against a hero like PL in theory, mid to late game. Another potential Radiance carrier, although we haven't really been seeing that lately on Kunkka players.
I think they're banning it to largely protect their Lina. If Lina is planning on going mid now, like maybe that's the idea. But considering Tempo are banning 2 mid heroes, then...
Ooh, Brood. Okay.
Not so sure about that.
Yeah, Brood would have been pretty annoying.
10th pick Brood could have been nasty this game for sure. They have nothing against Brood.
Omegalil, like we talked about, they have 2 flex picks in the Venge and Lina, and they have absolute last pick. So the world is their oyster, as they say.
They banned Pugna too. That's another hero you want to protect your core Lina against. So could be a bait. They're trying to pretend that this Lina is definitely mid.
Ooh, okay. Zeus, an old school counter to TB. How does that fare these days?
Very, very well. Until TB has BKB especially. Zeus has absurd magic damage. And now that Veil is a lot cheaper, somebody else in the team could buy Veil as a possibility. Like Treant could go Veil. Even Lich could get the Veil. so Zeus can focus on getting bigger items, not have to get that on the way. But he can, of course, buy it himself.
And what
Now,
about
the
Zeus
thing about
Lina?
this hero is, yeah, I think both heroes farm in that matchup. I think Lina is still favorite though. But my suggestion for Omegalil here is put the Lina on 4 and crush this Zeus in lane. He has other bad matchups than just the Brood. There has to be something they could incorporate here, or take advantage of the fact that Zeus doesn't flat out beat a lot of mid heroes, and you can get something else that maybe draws, but is really good for your game plan. Like, let's say you thought Visage was good, for example. Visage doesn't really win lane very often against opponents, but if you could draw against Zeus, then suddenly you have a Visage that drew in lane, which is great. Underlord is going to be the choice, so really doubling down on the 5-man potential of getting auras and
nice
just balling
set,
down the
buddy.
lane.
Great
It's a
set.
mid Underlord, Shannon.
Dude, I am so... I mean, they did nerf the potential of the core... Well, by core, I mean the 1 or the 2 Underlord with the Aghanim Scepter changes. And, well, it's more so his passive changes. But I am still very excited. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, well, Underlord getting Ags could be pretty crazy for Terrorblade, right? With Venge Aura and Beastmaster Aura.
Yeah.
The whole Omegalil lineup 5-man is really strong. And I think what they were just thinking was, okay, look at the enemy team. They have a PL, and then everything else is magic damage. Why don't we just pick a hero that can buy pipe and group up and take towers? Like, what are they going to do? I think there's so much pressure on Zeus in this game because he's the one guy who can defend towers realistically here. And I'm saying that with a team that has living armor and frost shield, but I don't think that's enough to hold their towers when this machine just gets going from Omegalil and go down lane with all of their stuff. Yeah, I like the Underlord last pick. Also, obviously good against PL, right? That's a given.
Yeah. Yeah, usually I don't say whether I agree with you or not, Sunern, because my opinion doesn't matter. But I do agree with you here. I really like Omegalil's lineup. Looks very cool on paper. We'll see if they can execute. I mean, both teams, especially last game, both teams played very sloppy at many different times. So the fact that, let's say we consider this Radiant pick or this Radiant lineup an out pick, it doesn't necessarily mean everything.
No, of course not. You always, I mean, that's the same for every game. You always need to play the game, right? Mistakes happen.
Yeah. I think Noob will need to have a good game this game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's all about the laning stage for him. Again, I haven't really seen a whole lot of Zeus versus Underlord in my time, but
it's a very
Zeus
rare
versus
matchup.
TB later in the game is very good for Zeus before that BKB. And even once you get the BKB, you have ways, to kind of kite him. You have overgrowth, and you wait for that BKB to get lower and lower over time. All right, and we are off to the races. Underlord with the greatest Underlord set of all time. Yes, do tip him. Can I tip? Damn. Tip does not work for spectators. That would be a great addition to the game, if I do say so myself. Oh, man, look at that.
There's a reason you're not developing this game.
That is so good. I mean, I feel like if you have...
Imagine
how
tilted. Imagine how tilted you would be in a game as a pro player. You make a mistake and the casters start tipping you? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yes. I mean, if betting wasn't a thing, I wouldn't care if that was in, if I'm being totally honest. But because betting is there, yeah. Probably not for the best.
Uh-oh. Kellen was not expecting that one. This is going to be an easy first blood for Zeus.
Whoa! What the heck? The quadruple tip?
The quadruple random gank out of tree line, and Zeus getting first blood is what they were hoping for. So he's off to a great start. 300 gold advantage.
Dude, I picked Underlord to win this lane, and now you're making it even harder on me. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, Zeus obviously off to a terrific start. What did he use?
Venno didn't have to scale Gale for it either, which is pretty important because now he's showing up to the lane with Poison Sting, and your hope at getting CS against Terrorblade with Venno really relies on the Poison Sting extra 8 damage. Like if you don't have that, you're hitting with 45 against a Terrorblade who has 58 plus meta, which is another 20, so that would be 78 damage versus 45. he's almost got double damage on you. It's pretty hard to CS. But now it's like somewhat possible. Treant might have to just take some CS. I think that's completely warranted here in the lane, regardless. Just make sure you at least get the range creeps. Top lane Beastmaster against Lich PL. Trying to kill the piggies. Alright, go on.
Yeah, what do you think about this lane with the Lina as the backup for the Beastmaster?
I think the Radiant lane is really, really strong at level 3. Even level 2. Lina gets so good at level 2 in my experience. Getting that point in Fiery Soul. Just stun someone, you keep hitting them a lot. And Beastmaster, when he gets level 2 boars, can assist a lot onto this Lich. For now, the level 1 boars are a bit too fragile. They get Spirit Lance Nova'd and then they die. Which was what happened right there.
Ooh, wow. This change was a long time ago, I feel like, but I believe when they increased the base damage to Zeus, it made such a big difference.
Yeah.
To his last hitting capability. Means he doesn't have to spam Arc Lightning literally every time. He can actually deny creeps in lane. He's not completely worthless in that department. Surprised we don't see more Zeus, actually. I feel like he's a good hero. Bottom lane, Gale into the grabs. He's just going to TP. Is he TPing to his own tower? He is. He has to pop the Fairy Fire as well. And not sure if there's a salve.
Venge has 2.
Oh, Venge has 2. Okay. That's a good little support. Man, I can't wait to see the auras start to go to town once we get into the mid game. LSA top lane. Malik bore out a little bit late there. PL's going to apply some pressure as well with that Spirit Lance. They do have LSA again. Oh, not going to connect this time around, though. And that's probably going to break things up overall. Another Nature's Grasp in the bot lane, though. And early Orb of Venom, as we've come to see on Treants across the world. I believe that Beastmaster, yeah, he has one as well in the top lane. But I'm very interested in terms of the CS for the mid lane. So Underlord 12-4 versus Zeus 14-2. Overall a wash, but still super early on. And the great thing about Zeus, or the bad thing about Zeus, like depending on your perspective, is the fact that he is very gankable. You're going to see Gale in the bot lane along with the Grasp, and the right clicks to follow Magic Missile is going to keep the Treant in place. Kellen, the last right click from Mitch is enough. And top lane, we're going to see some action. The Lina drops. PL barely survives. As Lich ends up dropping to, I believe that was the boar.
Yep. It's a pretty even laning stage overall so far. Everybody's getting something.
A little bit too far away for the LSA.
He's just going to block him off.
Lena's like, God, I wish I had a taunt. Bottom lane now.
This is really, really annoying for Zeus.
Oof. He's just going to get chased down. Fairy Fire's there, though. And the Magic Missile is going to help him get the trade. Looks like the Lich ended up going down again in the top lane. Malik still surviving, and the board just continue to go to town on the PL.
Must I repeat myself?
Very action-packed early game as a regen is up. Zeus, with his terrible attack range, is not going to be able to take it for him, or at least deny it even, but denies it with the Arc Lightning instead. I think that's a time where we see a lot of these mid laners, especially when there's no support coming, just guess a rune, but
yeah.
Underlord at this stage is going to be able to push a little bit fast. It's getting to the point with 2 in Arc Lightning. Maybe it's about even in the push department.
Underlord is way more cost efficient, right? He has a Soul Ring, and he needs to cast it once. If Zeus wants to spam out the wave, he needs to use like 3 or 4 arcs.
Oh! Steals all 3 creeps and gets the kill. And that's a level 6 Zeus. That was nice.
Oh boy.
Yeah, oh boy indeed. Malik
that
with
is
the double
a big
boar.
Oh boy.
As the bounties are starting to come about. LSA onto the Lich. Malik doing a lot of damage. Some of it's mitigated, but they'll find the kill nonetheless. LSA again onto 2, but there's the Zeus ult. Helps get the double kill there.
It's actually really important Zeus was 6 there. If not, I think they could have got all 3 kills and survived. Like, the Beastmaster's not going to die there without Thunder God.
Yeah, Peel continuing to get chased. LSA connects. He's going to give high five to Lina, who maybe steps out of place a bit here. Does have reinforcements on the way, and actually somebody's TPing in addition. LSA connects again, but Zeus... Yeah, that's pretty big. You cancel the TP, so now Lina can't get back to the lane easily once she revives, and Noob just TPs back to the mid lane, and it's a full creep wave. He didn't miss anything.
Yep. Definitely not a rotation Lina was expecting there. I like that that he was trying so much to put pressure on the PL. I think it's the right attitude to have in this lane, is that we have Lina Beastmaster lane, we're not going to just let him farm all bottom lane. It's a dead tree.
Yeah.
God, this damage is so stupidly high.
It's not his ultimate. Just remember.
I've played this game a lot, Shannon, and it's still one of the things in the laning stage. Even after playing so much, it still takes me by surprise sometimes how much damage Terrorblade does with nothing.
Yeah.
He has 2 Wraith Bands, and he deals 150 per hit.
But
And his
not an
illusion
ultimate.
deals 50%. So every volley of attacks is 225. It's just normal attacks, man.
Pretty absurd. But he was second picked, so there's ample opportunity to counter him,
Absolutely.
which they've tried with the Zeus. We'll see how that works out. How early do you go for BKB on TB this game? Is it earlier than last game, or do you still stick with the same formula?
I think it depends how well Underlord is doing, because you could try to tank up and then have the pipe on Underlord. There's even an argument to be made for getting Hood on Terrorblade this game, I think, just because you're against so much magic damage, like Veno, Zeus, Lich. I think justifies buying a Hood on that hero. And if you have that and a pipe on your Underlord, you could definitely delay your BKB in favor of getting damage items. It's always a difficult balance against Zeus, though, because of the static field. Like, you can't just ramp up health and feel tanky, because he just deals more damage. But if you have the Hood, the math gets a lot better for you. So, might see that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Definitely a pretty value pick overall. Of course, last game, I don't think he'd go for this that early. This would be a later game item, but we didn't even see Butterfly. Oh, top lane. Primal Roar onto the tree, into LSA. They don't really do that much damage. It's going to take a while. Thanks for the amplified damage from his axes. Malik able to take that for himself. But he has no mana to TP, and is just awkwardly standing here, knowing he's going to die. Zeus actually takes it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
With that ult of his, but this will allow Underlord to at least catch up a bit. So in terms of the CS, very even, but that's a little bit deceiving because of the jungle. He's actually 1k net worth behind the Zeus, which isn't a surprise considering he died once to Zeus, and Zeus finds another kill there. Looks like he's going to be going for the Hood. Building towards an Atos as well for later game, I'm sure. Double root action, potentially.
Not sure what he wants to use the crown for. I don't know if Atos is... Oh, Zeus getting not caught.
Yeah. Vengeful Spirit running at him as if he's level 6. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Lich taken out. Beastmaster going to be chased by the PL and Tree. Another Spirit Lance should be enough under the tier 1. Actually, Healing Salve. Are there any TPs coming? He's actually doing a really good job of juking. That's going to prove to save his life. Very nicely done from Malik.
Strange to say, Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Maybe if Tree ran in with him, that could have been something. LSA mid.
Zeus mid, this is big. This is
Magic
a big kill
Missile. Pops that Fairy Fire. He is doing a lot of
But
damage,
what
and
if
there's
they
the
don't?
damage mitigation from LeBron. And yeah, that'll save Zeus's life. As much as Omegalil is looking for him, not able to
ward easily
take him
as
out.
well.
The grasp now into the bottom lane. The tier 1 tower cannot save Malik, so no TP support incoming. PL getting extremely low, trying to walk away, does die, but it'll be a trade, and Tree is like, okay, I'm okay with that.
Should he smoke that? I don't think that boar would have killed him. But it will deny the rune.
Yeah, very nice.
Yoink. Trent's pissed, man. He's gonna kill this boar.
Goddamn boar.
Yeah, I
Make
get
you into
it.
bacon. Delicious bacon. I don't know if trees eat bacon. I mean, we can try it sometime. We'll see. Spirit Vessel. Very early Spirit Vessel on Mitch, by the way. Feels like that's super fast.
Yep. It is
Already
very
has
fast, for sure.
2 charges. Here comes the Zeus, and here comes the death. Lina, level 6, does have a Laguna Blade. She's going to use it before she drops inevitably. Noob, relatively low. Primal Roar is still down as the Lich ult is expended, and it's going to bounce very favorably in Tempo's favor. So that'll be a 3 for nada.
They're getting a lot out of their Zeus this game. He's got himself a lens minute 9, I think it was. He got the... We love talking about this item, Shannon. He got Faded Brooch. Really good item on Zeus. This hero needs mobility to stay on top of targets. Getting that free 20 move speed and 200 mana on top is just icing on the cake. I think if you were Zeus and you could choose in that item slot, would you rather have 200 mana or 20 move speed? You take the 20 move speed. And you're just... He's just going to keep ramping up. He's closing in on Boots of Travel now to be way more mobile. And is anyone buying a Veil on their team? That's still what I'm looking for. Trant's going Meteor Hammer. Venno going Lotus. I don't think they're buying any Veil. I really think they should.
Well,
I think Trant
here.
should buy a Veil.
They need to get the jump. Pit of Malice probably will set it up. Just barely clips him, but they don't find space for the roar. The haste rune. Well, he's going to get swapped, though. They do find the range, and finally they take out that Zeus. Venge. Looks like he'll swap in LeBron as well, so they'll find a second kill to their name. TP coming in. Venge walking the opposite way. Nice Pit of Malice to prevent that death. Yeah, from the thing I love about Zeus, and I've always loved about Zeus, is there's so many different items you can go. But I think the problem, like, Yule's is also a really good item. Obviously, Aghanim's Scepter. You talked about Veil. He already has the Aether Lens. But it feels like you can't go, like, all of them, right? It feels too many small items. So the question is, what is the most value this game? As we're going to see a TP top. LeBron is going to get potentially chased by Kellen, but there goes the ult from LeBron. Zeus ult to follow.
That was an attempt,
Strange.
but it wasn't enough damage.
Yep.
Didn't get the Chain Frost bounces at all. I kind of like the idea for Lich to TP there, though, but I don't think he should TP so aggressively. TP defensively, try to hold the tower. If they start diving you, that's when the Chain Frost comes in handy. And if they don't dive you, fine. You TP to position 5 to defend the tower. For this aggressive play, you lost the tower. So, and you died on top, which is obviously way less important, but yeah, that could have definitely been better from LeBron.
Well, Malik on the Beastmaster, getting pretty close to finishing the Blink Dagger. And Underlord himself, we kind of talked about. He did finish the Atos first, actually. Did not go for the Hood.
Oh, he did?
But we'll be going for that next.
Interesting.
You don't like the Atos? I think it's a pretty value item on that hero.
It is.
Good
Oh, yeah,
stance.
yeah. I like Atos on Underlord. I feel like there's so much value in getting a quick Hood into pipe this game. And he will obviously get this Hood, but I don't know if they needed Atos for catch when they have Venge and Beastmaster currently that can open fights. And Beastmaster's even going Necro 1 into Dagger. Then you definitely shouldn't be needing this Atos.
What do you think of him
right
going
now.
the 5 armor instead of magic resist talent? Is it because he's already going for pipe? He doesn't feel like the multiplicative nature of stacking is not worth it? I think I mean, in
question.
general, I think most people
I think he
would still
should
go
take
the
it.
magic
I think he
resist.
should take magic resistance. Yeah, I think he definitely should have taken magic res. Yeah, sure. You're gonna itemize magic resistance, and there is a PL in the enemy team, but look at the value you get for the next 10 to 15 minutes from having magic resistance compared to armor. You can also itemize armor later, right? It's the other thing. There seems to be more options for getting armor than for getting magic resist. You kind of got Hood, right? There's nothing else that he would want to buy from magic res. So.
Meta popped by Kelton, but it's with an arcane rune, so just gonna use that to farm. Yeah, Zeus and Venno. We talked about Venno, how fast he's farming, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. Going towards that Lotus Orb next. There's Kellen looking to take down this tier 1 tower. Every tower just feels more important when you're facing against the Treant Protector. If you're not able to push this anytime soon, I'm just going to heal that up to full again. And that's probably the most important tower on the entire map. Diffusal Blade for Krylat. 15.5 minutes, maybe a little bit slower than what he was hoping for. But this will obviously help accelerate him now. Was there a time, this is going to sound stupid, I feel like there was a small portion of time in Dota history where Battle Fury was built on PL. Do you remember that?
I think every hero has had a Battle Fury phase.
Yeah, that's a good point. Roar, but the overgrowth is there to hold Malik in place, and Noob showing off the boots of travel. Can be anywhere he wants. So a little bit of questionable move there from Malik, just looking for that solo kill. You know, for as much as we were talking about the 5-man potential from Omegalil, they really haven't 5-manned at all. Yet.
No. And it might be... I think the biggest deterrent is that, 1, they don't have pipe, and 2, Zeus had a way too good start, right? You got first blood, he had a good laning stage, so... Pushing into that guy is hard, and you also need to push into Plague Wards plus Treant and Lich. Like, it is defensively a very sound strategy here. When the lanes go like this, I think you can hold for quite a while. Mitch is going to take mid tier 1. He's finishing Lotus Orb. So that'll help against Beastmaster and Underlord. And the Venge swap.
Yep, for sure. I mean, what do you go now on Venom? This is my question. Like, obviously this hero can farm pretty well, but I don't know if I've seen a excuse me, a Venom this farm this early. Looks like Force Staff is next. Like, is there a point where you feel like you need to start going for bigger tier items, considering how good of a start you're off to? Or you still go for the kind of the same utility?
Well, you don't need to buy magic damage, right? Because Zeus has that in spades. I think, in terms of bigger items, which excludes the Veil, that could have been a possibility for their team in general. I think Force Staff is good. Find more ways for people to get out of Pit of Malice, create distance to Terrorblade, create distance to Beastmaster. I think E-Blade is really interesting this game. Oh.
Well, the LSA into the Roar, but the quadruple teleportation, and Beastmaster's dead again. John Doe being chased. I'm not going to go any further with that that vision that Zeus provides. That's another thing we didn't really talk about. He's going to actually use the Blink Dagger. I didn't even see he picked that up. Ends up destroying the Lina. Between the Venomancer, Plague Wards, and Zeus, they have so much... And Tree. They have so much vision. Potential. As Venge dies in the bot lane. And this is looking really good for tempo.
Starting to look really good for Dire. The pipe is online on Underlord, but they haven't really... The only things that Radiant have done in the last, I want to say 5 minutes, is go try to kill a guy next to top tier 2 tower and get killed. Like, that's been all their moves. We haven't included Terrorblade at all. Haven't really used the pipe on Underlord yet, which is obviously fresh. So I think it's time now to make a move, right, of some sort. Like, get a smoke going, have Underlord push out bottom quickly, and then maybe connect with a teleport to smoke with his team, push out, maybe find a pick around mid and get that tower, or find a pick around top and get the Roshan. Mid is probably your best bet. It's not easy, but I don't think just chilling is the way to go either.
Well,
Sunlight's
they're going to find the Underlord.
Rift.
He is in a lot of trouble. There are reinforcements coming, though. Yeah, Lich Ult will continue to bounce, and he will continue to die. And he does so successfully. They could find the Venomancer, though. See the meta popped, and they're just going to destroy him easily. It's a 1-for-1. Position 3 for position 2. Malik jumps in, though. Look at the damage mitigation coming out from Lich. All these ultimates being applied to Phantom Lancer. He's still fine, but the LSA keeps him in place, and the right clicks from TB, just like we saw last game. There's no difference. Zeus is here, though. So a 3-for-1 after getting a clean kill on Underlord. Looks like he stayed alive just long enough for them to be able to chase.
Yeah, and they could lose all 4 bounties here if there's a TP top from Radiant. Yep, there it is from Lina. So it should be 4 bounty runes plus those 3 kills. That's equalizing the game right there. They're 3k gold behind. Now they're gonna have the lead. Just that one move.
That Underlord just looks so juicy. So juicy. It's funny. At first, it was a 1-for-1. The Underlord for the Veno. The Veno is technically worth more, despite being position 3. That's how well he's farmed this game. So, in theory, it wasn't worth it to begin with. And then they lose more. Yeah, TV Manta drums working towards BKB, and that's when he hits kind of a level in which he can start fighting more comfortably. They are going to apply some pressure, though, before that comes to B. DD is still activated on him. Has Sunder trying to get it off. Manta first. Sunder's a teammate again. He just prefers to use it on teammates, it feels like. There's literally an enemy hero right next to him.
I think he wasn't able to get it off on Treant. Treant went invis while he was casting it or something.
Yeah.
And then the overgrowth came
Makes
out,
sense.
but instant Manta into Sunder to kill his Venge and stay alive. But
He probably could have just walked away as well. Venge had swap. Didn't have to use it. Yeah, but that does open up Roche, which is a pretty big deal. I imagine Zeus will take this, although PL could, in theory.
I think they give it to PL.
PL? Okay. Yeah, he's taking a lot of damage from Roche. This actually wouldn't have been a bad one to fight in hindsight. But of course, there's no way to know that. Lina with Yule's Aether Lens. This is position 4. She's farming.
Yeah,
pretty
she's
well.
very farmed. Love playing this hero support with items. It feels like when you have these two items in particular, you have so much control of what happens in fights. You can play from really, really far away with the cast range talent. And anytime somebody presents themselves, you have so many options, right? You can Yule into stun combo, which can't really fail. You can stun from the tree line, because your range is so huge with the lens. You have insane single target damage, and if you do build into an Ags, you even pose a threat to killing somebody like the PL in one chain with +1 hero.
Mm-hmm.
So net worth on this hero as a 4 feels really, really good compared to a lot of other supports. And as far as the game goes, like, what are the threats to Lina really here? There's no, like, Spectre that's going to haunt on you or something like that, or a hook shot. The only thing you're really scared of is Zeus ult into PL charging you or something like that. So you're relatively safe if you're playing at max distance.
Dark Rift was forced out in the bot lane. Yeah, look at this tower. We talked about it. It was at about 300 HP, I want to say. Now, basically full. It's kind of the issue with Terrorblade is you can only push in pulses, I guess. In intervals. It's not a constant thing.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But Underlord
Ever been cause for celebration?
still working on his Greaves. Can finish the mech right now.
Radiant's bottom tower is being subjected to extreme.
So he's going to be a lot more tanky very shortly. Malik finished the Necro 3, is going for, I guess, a Silver Edge. Wait, is that a Silver Edge? What is he going for?
Shadowblade.
Just the Shadow Blade? Oh yeah,
I think he wants to find Zeus. That's the goal of Beastmaster this game, is to get in and find Zeus and kill Zeus.
Shadow Blade into Blink. Hoping for no vision, of course. I mean, that's the thing, right? We talked about the vision that they have, but Beastmaster also provides a lot of that. With the old Hawkaroo. Got to put it in some weird spots, though, to prevent the Zeus from finding it. Tree, continue to do his thing and push. He's actually getting close to a Blink Dagger. Has the Meteor Hammer finished. That's pretty big, being able to blink overgrowth.
Yep. Sets up for a lot of good things this game. Like, Zeus loves when people are stuck in place, right? He just needs to have somebody to go on all the time. And eventually, when fights go long enough, Zeus gets kills. But for Lich, too, setting up an easy Chain Frost. The amount of dispels on the Radiant is pretty limited. They have Yeah, I mean, they have 0 dispels. They have a swap, and Lina can dispel her own overgrowth with Yule, technically, but it's not great.
Thunder God's Wrath.
He's got
A lot of damage, but the vision is there as well. He's pretty much out of mana, though. But just like that, it stops the push mid, and the tower is literally now... Well, okay, not literally. Basically at full HP. Still. The fact that you're able to hold on to a tier 1 mid at 26 minutes is kind of a big deal. Blink Dagger on Terrorblade. Ooh. Very interesting.
I think the logic is the same for him as it is for the Beastmaster, right? They know what their game, what the win condition is. It's Zeus. He's gonna blink on top of him and try to kill him instantly.
Well,
Zeus
Malik
doesn't
is
have
done.
a save in his team. Oh boy.
Overgrowth onto the Lina now. Pit of Malice. Not really gonna help here. So it's a 2 for nothing. I mean, typically, I feel like Blink against Zeus... I mean, obviously it depends on the scenario, but in theory, Zeus is good against Blink, right? If he can cast a spell, at least, in the vicinity.
Yeah, if he... I mean, he needs to cast Thunder God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or he needs to predict where they are and land a Lightning Bolt, because Static Field doesn't counter Blinks. So... Oh, well, it's tied to the spells now, right? It's different from how it used to be. So you need to connect the spell.
Tree. They finally find him. I believe he finished, yeah, his Blink Dagger's done. In his inventory as we speak, as the Aegis is consumed. And Dark Rift back to mid. Kellen only about 3k away from finishing Scotty, which we saw the effects that it had last game. Such a crazy item on this hero. I mean, I'm trying to think of a hero that benefits more from Scotty than TB. Medusa, maybe? They're in the same tier, probably.
Medusa benefits more from the mana, right? So technically, you could argue it's better on Medusa for that reason. She uses all of the attributes a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just so much value in having a slow and Terrorblade. You're so strong with that Scotty. I think some players in this game would not go Scotty, though. I think there's a lot of good things to be said about having Satanic against this kind of a lineup, where you can lower the duration of the root and of the Lich Gaze, and then if you take a lot of burst damage from Zeus, you pop Satanic and you just need to hit anything twice. You kind of reset the fight that way.
Oh, they know the general vicinity in which Tree is hiding. Oh. Zeus, though, gonna end up finding this Vengeful Spirit. The Overgrowth still available. Don't really want to waste it on just a lowly Venge at this stage. But they'll find him one way or the other. Now, I've noticed these two, aside from the beginning of this game, they've both been, I feel like, kind of slow-paced in the way that they take the game. Is that just me? I feel like I'm used to more aggression.
They seem... I mean, for the Radiant side, the primary problem is that they're just struggling to pierce anything, right? They need to pierce Zeus, Veno wards, plus Treant, and Lich armor on towers, which I said their lineup can do, but I don't think the timing was right of the items that they got, so they're kind of like stagnating where they can't get this damn mid tower out of the way. As far as the Dire goes, they want to keep farming up their PL, and they just keep sending out Zeus to do small skirmishes once in a while, with Treant pushing out top. So it's kind of just a lot of just pushing back and forth on waves, but not really any structural damage until finally now this bottom tier 2 tower will fall in favor of Omegalil, unless Glyph plus Living Armor handles this. They really want to get this.
Yeah, they're going to get this before the tier 1 mid, for God's sake.
Yeah.
They will claim it. I thought that Titan Sliver ended up in the hands of Omegalil, which is, I would consider, one of the best items for Terrorblade. But it's on the opposite side. Although, I mean, the one that he has now is really good as well. Because typically this hero doesn't really have that much lifesteal, or any lifesteal at all, until you get Satanic. Alright, Malik has the Shadow Blade. Gonna be scouted here. There's the Thunder God's Wrath, a swap. Basically melee range. Malik's still sticking around. There's a Pit of Malice to follow. Finally, we're gonna have a team fight. Lich ult is there, dealing massive damage. Poison Nova popped but it's just a 1-for-1 to start. But there is the PL dropping to his death with a newly formed BKB on Kellen, as he's just going to right-click to his heart's content onto Mitch. Did use the halberd, but really to no avail. It's a 3-for-2 as the Venge just dies. So that was kind of the introduction to Kellen's BKB. Almost has enough for Scotty. I'm not sure if he's actually saving for buyback here. Oh, he did it just now. Very nice. And into Roshan we go.
He is so strong with these auras.
Yeah, he's crazy. And the Venge Illusion gives the aura as well. Doesn't have to be the real little lady. Noob looking to potentially disrupt this, but it's going to be too late. Aegis taken by Malik.
Wait,
that's
what?
strange.
I understand why you might not want it on Terrorblade because he's a transformation hero, but I still think they should probably put it on him because he has a dagger, right? You have some options with Terrorblade when you have Blink for how to use the Aegis. You can blink in behind and reflect and start the fight, and if they try to kill you and succeed, you have the Aegis, and then you can pop BKB Manta and blink again when you get out and just run at them. But maybe they think there's a good chance that Beastmaster finds a pick, has to sacrifice the Aegis for it, and they can snowball the fight from there. Definitely possible.
Tier 1 tower now at half HP for those that are keeping track. Will they ever get this tower? Will they win the game without getting that tower? Find out on this episode of Dotes Ma Goats. Treant has just been living in this top lane. Continuing to heal these towers to a high degree. He's going for Lotus Orb as well. Actually has a decent amount in the bank invested towards that. As MKB looks to be next on TB. What is PL working with now? So he's the one with the Titan Sliver, which is also really good. Diffusal Manta. Looking like the Abyssal Blade next. He actually bought the recipe first. Oh, he does have Basher in his inventory now.
Just getting what he can from base first. There it is. Yeah, Terrorblade has kind of exploded, and getting this Roche kill has made it even easier. And this, I feel like this is when this mid tower falls. Like, Terrorblade is starting to become overpowered. He's just overpowering them now. There it is. So that's a very big opening to find, because now they will finally start to get access to the enemy triangle. They are smoked. It gets scouted by Zeus.
BKB is forced by Callan, but here comes the Sunder onto Zeus. Laguna Blade to follow. And Zeus regrets every decision he's made in life. Treant is going to be the follow-up collateral damage. Oh my, the double LSA into the Pit of Malice. Really good comboing here. Good chase potential. LeBron looks like he's going to be the first to fall. Does get the Lich ult off, the Chain Frost. Double buyback on the support combo. They're going to get the Beastmaster who has the Aegis. He knew that he was going to need that Aegis to feed twice in the enemy base.
What is happening?
He knew.
That is the weird. That's maybe the single weirdest thing I've seen all series. What just happened then? They got these big kills, and then they got really bloodthirsty and wanted to chase. Terrorblade went and started hitting jungle creeps. He didn't push midwave or hit the tower. He went to the jungle.
Classic.
Instead of either chasing or, you know, dealing damage to the tower. So it seemed like complete miscommunication between them of what they wanted to do with that. They do force 2 buybacks on supports, which is something, but I think the Radiant could have got way more out of that one. When they got that Zeus kill, that fight is over. And you run them down and you start taking buildings. But end up having to just settle for this in the end.
I don't know. I feel like that's a pretty common thing in Dota, where somebody says, I farm jungle, and somebody else says, I feed mid. That's exactly what we just saw, Cinder, and I see that almost every game, in fact. Peel in the bot lane. See if they can capitalize on this death for the Beastmaster. Of course, it is just a Beastmaster. Sinister Gaze into the Nimbus. It's enough to find the Lina, who, again, it's not just a support here looking at the farm. Pretty much every hero, aside from Venge, who wants to die in a lot of cases. Actually, where was Venge during this? Up here. Interesting. They're going to town. Oh, they actually used a Lich ult. They thought that was real. Oh, dear. That's unfortunate. Where are the tips? Did they run out of tips? It looks like it.
That's the only thing you can think of there. Did they run out of tips?
I think they did. It's very important. Yeah, without the Lich ult, I don't think they can do anything more. PL has a decent way into finishing a Scotty for himself. But really, it's about this BKB and positioning for the Zeus. You got to save all the, I assume, all the 4 staffs for him when he gets jumped. And the BKB for Terrorblade is still at 8 seconds. You got to have him use these. Somebody activate the BKB key on his keyboard a few times as we wait for the next fight. So 8k net worth lead now for Omegalil. Oh, BKB now, not Beastmaster. But yeah,
most important thing for
expected,
Zeus is that he plays his range, right? It always is. Every game, what Zeus needs to do is stay at the correct distance. He flat out just can't get caught. If Zeus gets caught, they lose the fight. And there's a lot of traps here. You can get caught by Avenge Swap with Glimmer. You can get caught by Blink, Yule's Aetherlens, Lina. You can get caught by Blink, Atos, Underlord. You can get caught by Blink, Beastmaster, Shadowblade, and the Terrorblade Dagger. Like, there's amount of reach on the Radiant is actually pretty ridiculous. So Zeus has to stay completely safe and let his teammates somehow bait a fight to start where he does not get jumped first.
Ooh, Flicker.
Shaco? There was a Shaco too, right?
Yeah, Shaco. That's the
Underlord
other team, though.
Shaco. He's giving it away to... who? Nobody claimed that? Take it on Lina or something, man.
Yeah, Lina. She got plenty of mana. She doesn't need
That
it.
item is so good.
I mean, how good is Flicker this game? It does not take you out of Pit of Malice.
Correct.
But I mean, it gives a ton of move speed as well, right? I feel like, I mean, he does have Quickening Charm already on Zeus. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who picks this up. Tell me if I'm missing a kill. I need to look at these neutrals. Ninja Gear, one of my favorite items. It's really good for TB as well, considering his Blink Dagger. That's actually maybe the perfect item for him.
It's really good here, yeah.
And a Flicker for them as well.
Wait, are they actually just flat out not going to use the Shaco on Radiant? They have heroes with so much mana. Like, Lina with Shaco right now gets 50% health at the cost of, like, 15% mana.
I think it's coming. Lina doesn't have a nuke right now.
She's taking Flicker, it looks like.
Oh,
I don't know, man. I would definitely put the
I mean, 40
Shaco
move
on
speed
somebody.
as well.
Sure. I mean, Shaco's just... I don't know.
You
It's
love
good,
Shaco?
man.
I get
Believe
it.
me.
I get it, bro.
Believe me.
You believe me, Flicker's amazing
Underlord?
too. Sunlight. Gonna get all his mana burned. Here comes the TB, jumps in, but the batch goes off. If they can find the right one, oh my god. Lich just completely gets decimated. The Lich ult comes out as well, but most of the damage is tanked by the BKB targets. At least PL gets out. That's the main worry if you are tempo at the moment. I mean,
Look at
Flicker
Kellen
for...
searching with his ninja gear. He found them.
Oh, wow. He runs back into death. He just really wanted to get off that halberd.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
They saved him with the Force Staff, but just wants to use his items. Is it a DC, maybe? Okay. Maybe that was why. Although that's the other team saying that. Well, Flicker from Lina's perspective, in terms of the active itself, it'll take off the slow from Spirit Lance. It'll take off... You can use it within Nature's Grasp, not as ult, obviously, and it'll take off not Poison Nova, but the Gale, as well as, I believe, Poison Sting. So, actually a lot of value from the Dispel perspective. And a shit.
You're holding that up
move
against
speed.
1200 health, though. And I know the health isn't as valuable as it is in other games because of Zeus's passive, but like we're talking a 3.4k health Lina here if she takes that Shaco. The mana is still completely fine. Her pool is really, really big. And that way she can survive other things, right? I'm just that's just my opinion, man.
All right, bro. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, bro.
That's just my opinion.
I mean, we talked about the flicker on the side of tempo as well, not being as value in terms of the active, but in theory, it's actually okay against Pit of Malice, even though it doesn't work while you're stunned. But I mean, with Atos, it'll work against Atos if he tries to immobilize you again. Typically, you're going to have a lot of slows on top of whoever is in the Pit of Malice. I mean, this is a lot of theory crafting, I suppose. I really like flicker.
Well, it's the same against Atos as it is against the Pit, right? Both of them are roots. You
That's
can't
true.
flicker roots, so you have to flicker between, and a good Underlord will layer them, right? So it's not really reliable.
What do you think of the Havoc Hammer on PL? Interesting.
Strength, damage,
Yeah.
something. What are his alternatives here? They're not great, right?
Let's see.
You could have Titan Sliver, Shaco.
Why does it never update for the team? There we go.
Dude, don't you take
Ninja
okay.
Gear.
I know I'm harping on Shaco. Okay, I know. Why don't you take Shaco on PL here? All of your illusions.
Yep. Totally
1200 health. You lose 400 mana. Then you're down to 755. You have 2 spells that cost mana and 1 item. No, 2 items. So your items cost 200. Your doppelganger is 50, and your spear is 140. So he can use his entire kit and like 3 or 4 lances and doppelgangers without even using his wand if he has Shaco.
Yeah.
And he's working on a Skadi, which will give him even more mana pool. Like, he's not going to face mana issues. I don't know why these teams don't like this item this game.
So from that perspective,
surprised.
wouldn't Shaco be good on TB as well?
He doesn't have the mana pool, though, does he? Yeah, he does, actually. He could get it, too. Yeah, he could get it. But I like the ninja gear on him, though, for the reason we just saw, right? I think him being able to jump in from smoke and just blast someone is really, really good.
I mean, that's also an item you can pocket, though, right? You use it and then pocket it immediately.
Yeah, true, I guess. Wait, did that not get changed?
No.
It only got changed on Illusionist Cape.
Yep.
But you can use Ninja Gear and then pocket it and you don't lose the smoke?
Right, it just doubles the cooldown,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah.
Which is kind of whatever. It's not like you're using that thing constantly. All right, Dark Rift out into their jungle. It is the 40-minute mark, so the outposts matter a little bit. Malik is going to secure the second. And another, what is the thing called? Solitary Disguise. God, that's such a good name.
PL. Nah, they're getting the hell out of there.
Gotta be careful. They're gonna find the Treant Protector. Will he flicker into... Oh, he's gonna Force Staff first. Laguna Blade swap. Looks like he's done so. Noob in the meantime picked up the Bloodstone, by the way. Has used it now. Kellen swapped out to safety. Looks like the Venge might take the brunt of the damage now from PL. Well, they're just gonna let the illusions do their work. Kellen looking for a Sunder target. That's all he wants. Sunder, 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 Sunder. Oh, we're gonna see the Primal Roar onto LeBron now, but there's a Sunder onto... Was that an illusion? I believe so. Kellen has many targets to choose from. 3 dead. Veno is still in the grave from last fight, and looks like they will find the Zeus, which is a huge deal. The Lina does drop to the PL, though. The buyback onto the Zeus. Now they really need to find some value in this buyback. Kellen still with the Sunder. Can't believe he's level 26. God damn. I guess a lot of people are level 25. It's already 40 minutes in the game. Jesus. Yeah, Underlord is mega dead. So they get something out of the buyback, but was that good enough?
Yeah, I think so. That's good. Oh, you mean for the Dire? No, not good.
Yes. I was like, what?
Unless they... If they can get Roche, it's good enough. That's kind of a requirement for this being a win, but there's already a Hawk here. This is dangerous. Oh, the Hawk gets slammed.
Gonna get slammed.
Another Hawk
buyback
can be sent
onto
out
Underlord.
now.
Lina might be doing the same. Metamorphosis is up. But that is a big buyback. I feel like this is probably... The Roshan is probably the next fight. Has the refresher again this time around. Which we kind of saw the value there on the TB last game. Zeus in solitary disguise again. I love saying that, if you can't really tell. Yeah, I don't know about this Havoc Hammer.
Smoking up.
It's okay, but in comparison, yeah. The Shockwave just seems way better. Alright. Full team smoke. Definitely do not want to go to the high ground. Oh, the smoke on the other side now. They're going to pass each other like ships in the night. Malik's going to be caught. They're going to apply all their pressure to him. Lich ult as well. They just want that kill.
Buyback, though.
He sure does. And he still has Roar to work with. Dark Rift, the swap. Almost screwed that up for himself. But it looks to be fine. Terrorblade pops the Metamorphosis, and that means Beastmaster has bought back into the game. Aghanim Scepter already online for TB as you see the Fear come out. And Zeus is die-backed. That is a huge deal as Halberd is applied to the TB. Lena continuing to get chased by this PL, but looks like he's going to get caught off guard. The Atos into... Oh, they're not going to be able to finish him? No, they do. In mid-animation of Doppelganger, they kill him. He buys back into the game. And this looks to be the beginning of the end. Again, in favor of Omegalil. This is going to be the potential last stand. That's lots of buybacks. Tier 2 tower looks to be next. Oh, they can get PL right now. Atos, unfortunately, on an illusion. And they're starting to realize that now. I don't think I've seen such a fast Ags on TB before. Or somebody that continually purchases it instead of waiting for Roche. It's kind of cool. What's the cooldown?
I mean, he's just that rich, right?
Wait, why it doesn't show the skill for us, does it?
You only have it in meta.
Oh, that's right. Now, PL, 4-staffed out. That's a huge overgrowth, but there's not going to be much follow-up, unfortunately. Poison Nova's still on cooldown for 30.
Megalil spending a lot of time on
Chasing.
these like wild goose chases instead of just getting towers and Raxus, right?
That seems to be their MO from last game. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, shocking that they don't get a lane here. Minimum. They killed a Zeus who didn't have buyback for 2 minutes on this
Would you
fight,
say it's
but
shocking or shocko, Syndron? Okay. Just let that one go.
Yeah.
And there goes the free Roche. No way to really get here in time. Terrorblade with the Refresher. Underlord with the Aegis. And here we go. This could be the last fight. Vengeful Spirit already going down very low. Kellen already got the fear off. The fear of Terrorblade is in their hearts. 2 dead immediately. And PL forced to run away. But there's the Roar. You can't run away with that. And Laguna Blade finishes him off in style. And that, despite not getting Rax, should be the Gaga. Triple kill for Kellen. The buybacks continue. Will this be another 30 minutes of them not being able to finish the game? His net worth lead is astronomical. This is even worse than last game. So even though they second picked it in a game where they had just played it, unfortunately, Tempo is not able to really do anything about this Terrorblade. And they're just going to go for Throne. Not even bothering with the Rax, knowing that diebacks onto the PL and pretty much the rest of their lineup, in fact. Kellen's still holding on to that BKB. Finally uses it. Has the Fear again. Has a 90-second cooldown. There it goes. Make them run back into the depths of their fountain. So GG is called as the throne explodes. Omegalil take this series 2-1.
Just like their last series.